Welcome to Rural Ruckus Radio and Podcast. I'm John Monson, your host, and glad to be back again today. And we've got a guest. We've got a guest with us from Compeer Financial, Paul Kohls. Paul, welcome. Hey, glad that you're here today. And Paul, we worked together for a long time.
It was great. And congratulations on your retirement. Congratulations on the new show.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. Today, we get a chance to talk about Compeer Financial. We get a chance to sort of bring out why is Compeer so different when it comes to rural America and how it thinks and how it does things. But maybe the first thing we should do, Paul, is talk a little bit about you. I'd love to know a little bit more about you. I think our listeners would like to know more about who you are, sort of the role that you play in the organization. And then we'll start diving into some of the deeper questions about Compeer Financial and what makes them so unique.
Yeah, I've been with Compeer for almost 15 years now, and I'm a part of the executive team at Compeer. I have a chance to work with a bunch of different parts of the organization. Probably most relevant to the conversation we're having here is I have a chance to lead what we call our Rural Vitality Initiative. John, that's work you know very well, since that was work you led until your retirement. So I got big shoes to fill, but excited to have the opportunity to do it. So that's the part of our organization that is, of course, Compeer is primarily known as being an agricultural lender. It's something we've done forever. It's something we will do forever. But we recognize the interconnectedness of rural communities and agriculture, and we've invested a lot over the past 15 plus years, as you know, in finding ways to help finance projects in rural communities to make rural communities stronger than they are today because of that interconnectedness. And so we've got a team that works on that, the community facility financing. I'm sure we'll have a chance to talk a little bit about. We do a bunch of corporate giving through the Compeer Fund for Rural America, and we have a donor advised fund. But then the last part of that is something newer, and we're working. We've got a small team that's building up an opportunity to partner with others to bring new sources of capital to rural businesses and try to really help rural communities that are looking to help themselves grow and be more vibrant. It's really exciting work.
Yeah, and there's a history here too, Paul. I mean, Compeer. It wasn't easy when it started, was it? And it isn't easy today either, but you're learning a lot. You're learning a lot about the marketplace. But we have a unique mission. I should say I always think of myself as Compeer. I can't help it. I mean, I worked so long and so proud of that work. But tell us more about the Compeer mission and why that mission actually matters. You don't have to do it verbatim, but give us an idea about that mission.
Well, so as I mentioned before, the farm credit system is primarily, or has historically been primarily, about financing agriculture. But at Compeer, we recognize that interconnectedness, and our mission and our vision both tie together not only agriculture but rural communities, and that's an important part of who we are as an organization. And so we have a vision where we want to be, we really want to be a part of a world where agriculture and rural communities are dynamic, thriving, and collaborating. That's a new statement, some new language for us. But one of the things I love about Compeer, I've had a chance to work at some great places. One of the things I love about Compeer is that our mission and vision are truly a part of who we are. It's not just a statement on the wall. Every one of our team members shows up every single day looking to serve agriculture and rural communities. And it's really an important part of who we are as an organization.
Yeah, you live it out. There's no question about that. And you see that it just thick with passion when you walk in the doors of Compeer. And you're a sponsor here of the show, the premier sponsor of the show. And I want to thank you, Paul. I want to thank the CEO, Jace Wagner, and the whole organization for committing to this and creating visibility and voice to all of these issues. And it really is a fit for the program here in terms of what you do. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that you see things from a different point of view. You see partnerships in a different way. Can you speak to that at least a little bit on this show? And we'll get a little deeper into that next show, and we'll start talking more about how the business units that you lead and how they go about that work. But speak more broadly about why partnerships matter so much to Compeer.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and before I go there, you mentioned the whole organization, and there's one other group I do want to call out, and that's our board of directors. We're a farmer-owned cooperative, and our board of directors is absolutely committed to this work. And they have been since we became Compeer. And so that's really exciting. And that does kind of fit into the partnership idea, right? Our board recognizes the value that Compeer can bring to rural communities. And that value can be amplified. It can be leveraged when we're able to partner with others. So most of the work that we do in this space is done in partnership with community banks, with commercial banks, with USDA, with local communities. And so none of this happens on John, you had a saying that I've absolutely glommed onto, and that is that rural development is a team sport. And we absolutely recognize that. We want to do things that are going to be helpful and beneficial to our member owners, and we're excited about our opportunity to perform well financially and return patronage to our owners. But we also know there's a ton of value for us as an organization when we can find ways to partner with others to enhance rural communities, and we can't do it on our own. And that's something that's maybe what's a little bit unique. We don't try to do this on our own. We want to leverage the power of partnership and work with others who have similar objectives to make rural communities better. And that's something we're willing to continue to invest in, not only our own capital, but our leadership and our willingness to sort of bring people together to amplify the power that we can have.
So you had mentioned community banks. I thought community banks and farm credit just didn't get along. So help me understand a little bit more about why they should.
Well, we compete with community banks every single day. And that's great. That's good. That benefits farmers, right? Especially when we're talking about ag loans and our loan officers and their loan officers are out competing for a deal. Who wins in that? The farmer does. But the reality is we need strong community banks to help rural communities thrive. And rural community banks can't the reality is they can't finance all of the needs in their local communities. We need more people coming to the table, and we need people to be willing to come to the table as partners. So we can compete and cooperate on the same exact day. That's our point of view, at least. And that competition is good in the marketplace, but there's also opportunity to collaborate and to cooperate. And those two concepts don't have to be mutually exclusive. That's been our point of view all along. And we think that's really what is going to benefit not only agriculture, but rural communities in the long term.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it that Compeer Financial has been really unique in leading the way, but it's interesting to me as well that you have identified the need to be the rural voice. Why does Compeer need to be the rural voice? Or do you need to be the voice or just riding the bus and having somebody else sort of be that voice? How do you view that in the future?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't think Compeer needs to be the voice. Compeer has a very important voice to contribute to the conversation. We live, we work, we breathe rural communities, right? That's what we are, that's who we are, that's who we always will be. And there are a lot of other great organizations out there who are helping rural communities. The challenge that we see is that many of them are often kind of in their own lane. They have their own space, their own silo, whatever the metaphor is that you want to use. And we want to find ways to bring those people together because we really believe the power of partnership can help rural communities thrive even more than any one of us showing up kind of in our space with our voice, right? So that's really what we see as different is we're willing to convene, we're willing to bring those people together so that the disparate efforts that are happening can be brought together and we can really amplify the power of those connections.
That's excellent. What a perfect segue into our next show, Paul. And I'm looking forward to getting into this a little bit more deeply about some of the business units you run. But Compeer really has shown leadership in this space. But they do it sort of through the Rural America Capital Team was a concept I remember Jace Wagner, our CEO, sharing and talked about how everybody is really a part of that. And so we'll start digging into that a little deeper. Paul, thank you so much for the first show. It was fantastic having you.
Awesome.
And we'll have you back.